Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Welcome to the Piedmont Unitarian Universalist Church. Piedmont UU sits on the traditional land of the Catawba, the Kiowa, and Sugaree peoples. We honor them. My name is Cosette Blackmer, and I am serving as the worship assistant this morning for Reverend Dr. Amy Rio. We are a flourishing, vibrant, radically welcoming congregation which promotes diversity, inclusion, and social justice. We provide a safe haven for creative, intellectual growth, spiritual development, and a deep sense of community for all who join us. We hope our liberal religious values will challenge you to join us as a community that lives boldly and acts justly. To all our visitors and members, we are very glad you're here, whether in person or online, and we hope to see you again. Your presence is truly a gift to us. We have a few announcements for this Sunday. Reverend Amy and Jennifer, our RE director, Life RE, LRE, are providing a UUA class for teens this coming Saturday. Please let one of them know if you were interested in attending. Today, after the university gathering service, we will have an information session on youth programs at the Mountain Retreat Learning Center, co-facilitated by Jennifer and Cassidy H., a longtime participant, the current peer advocate leader. This session will cover youth conferences, summer mountain camp registration, and financial assistance. The location will be at the meeting house. Today after worship, we also have a queer coffee and games event for members of the LGBTQIA+ community. For more information, you look at your order of service. And at this time, I'd like to invite Gio to come up and speak about our Shared Plate project.
I had 3 pages of script. And Reverend Amy Brooks sent me a much shorter script last night. And I went through it this morning, and I got to practice at Salisbury, which was a treat. This quarter, Piedmont UU is focusing on climate justice. Last month, our shared plate was Happy Roots in the Salisbury area, and next month will be the Indigenous 7 Directions of Service. This month, we're sharing, our shared plate is with Green Faith. I'm Gio, which means of the earth. As you may know, I'm a longtime supporter and volunteer with the local Green Faith. Reverend Amy Brooks sends her regrets and best wishes. She would have been here today, but she had another congregation that she was supporting with Green Faith this morning. And she talked to us last month, so she figured you didn't want to hear her again anyway. For those of you who may know, Green Faith is an international nonprofit that organizes and mobilizes communities of all faith to take action climate and environmental justice. While Green Faith is global, it works here in Charlotte and in other regions in the U.S. and around the world to stop the build out of new fossil fuels and related finance to support the transition to clean energy in the future and make polluters pay for climate damages. Key to that work is centering the stories of partnering and partnering with frontline communities. This year, we're working with organizations and faith communities to lift up concerns related to Duke's carbon plan and the proposed rate hikes. Also, on May 12th, we're launching a national campaign called Covenant for Our Future. This campaign focuses on moral, faithful response by our elected decision makers to respond to the damages in the great big beautiful bill. including the defunding of healthcare, food security, clean energy, and offering tax breaks and subsidies to fossil fuels and funding of ICE. On behalf of Green Faith, thank you for supporting the work of our Green Faith work here locally and nationally. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Gia. One last minute announcement from Harry. From time to time, produce from the Commonwealth Farms, Jane and Harry's farm, will be brought to the church to share with the congregation in exchange for a suggested donation to the church. Today after the service, there will be shiitake mushrooms and peonies available. Lovely peonies here. Cash, checks, and IOUs are accepted. Thank you. We also have a few last chance auction items. Make your best offer. Talk to Becky about that. She's here. Okay. For other important information about our vibrant community, please see your order of service, or if you are on our email list, please check your monthly newsletter and weekly announcements. Whatever brought you to this place at this hour, we welcome you. May you find something that you need, and may you leave richer in spirit than when you arrived.
Sandy.
Oh, excuse me, Sandy. That's what I was asking earlier. I'd like to invite Sandy up, please.
A lot of announcements today.
That's what I was confused about. You're fine, Steve. Thank you.
Good morning. I just want to quickly let you know about our next friendship dinner that is occurring later this month. It will be on Friday, May 29th at 6:30 p.m. and it will be at the home of Karen and Rich Hay. And I'm so thankful that they stepped forward to be our next hosts. They can accommodate 6 members to come. So I will be signing up people starting after church today. The hosts provide the main dish and drinks, and then the attendees will be contacted, and there will be decisions made about the side dishes that they can bring for the meal. And so it's a wonderful time to spend together, to get to know each other, which we often don't have time after church to do. And so I hope that I will see some of you. I'm going to stand over at that side against all that beautiful artwork and start signing up people, 6 spots. So be sure and see me. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. And without any further ado, Michelle is late.
You can see we have a lot going on. I hope that you are reading your May newsletter, which came out in your email a couple days ago. So, hear now these words from Reverend Michelle Collins. We light this small fire under a vast and intricate universe. Somewhere a star collapses, a seed splits open, a new element is glimpsed. Here we notice our own small corner of that mystery. Let this flame remind us that asking how things work is also a kind of awe. Please join me now in singing the words, lighting of our chalice, the symbol of our faith.
We light our flaming chalice to illuminate the world we see. In the search for truth, may we be just. In the search for justice, may we be loving. And in loving, may we find
I invite you to please rise in body or spirit for our call to worship found in your bulletin. Welcome to this community of seekers, of questioners, and of those open to the revelation that comes from experiences with one another and with the spirit of life.
May we remember that while we have some answers, we don't have all the answers. While we know some things, we don't know everything. And while we have lived, others have experiences very different from our own.
Welcome to this community full of questions and possibilities. Thank you. Our opening hymn is found in our gray hymnal, number 94, What is This Life? Please be seated, and I invite our children to come forward for Time for All Ages with Miss Jennifer. We may be doing some collecting, yes, doing a collection of some children across the hall, so.
So this month we're doing Awakening Curiosity, and as our chalice lighting, it was the light of the universe. So we are going to be a light in your universe today. We've been practicing for the next 2 sessions, so we'll see how this goes. The little ones are a little nervous, so they've decided to sit down.
It's all right. It's good.
Oh, I am not singing in a
It's good, Rich.
Does anybody like a microphone? I'm
It's
turning mine
good.
off for everyone to play.
Yeah, hit it.
Hit it.
Shine, shine, shine.
ritual and sacred sharing, a time for sharing joys and concerns, milestones and sorrows. So for our candles we're lighting this week, first we light a candle for Cindy T, who attends our university gathering here. Cindy recently had heart surgery, is home, doing better, and appreciates the many thoughts and prayers that people have been sending her. Also, we have a celebration for Lydia. I saw Lydia maybe back helping with doing RE, I think. Lydia just finished her master's this past weekend at UNC. So definitely, when you see her after she gets through with children, give her a big congratulations. We also light a candle for an end to the wars waging in the Middle East, and for our leaders to be led by visions of peace and care for every person instead of visions of war. For all who are being impacted by ICE raids and activity. For all areas of violence around the world, and especially the ongoing war in Ukraine. And for our country, that we might continue to work towards creating a society guided by justice and compassion for every single person. Now, this time you are invited to come forward as you feel called to do so. I invite you to come forward along the far wall. You may fill out a prayer card and place it on the prayer stand. You may light a candle, or you may place a stone in our shared water together. We now light a few more candles for the things we hold in our hearts which remain unspoken, and also for those joining us virtually to honor what is in their hearts as well. I invite us now into a time for quiet rest, meditation, or prayer. I will sound the singing bowl, and then during the period of silence, I invite you to deepen your breath, to settle more fully into your seat, feel more grounded to the earth beneath us. And as you deeply breathe in, invite wonder and awe into your being today. Just breathe in, inviting in wonder and awe. After our period of silence, we will then all join together for our musical meditation.
Our wisdom reading this morning are from Letters to a Young Poet by Rainer Maria Rilke. Be patient towards all that is unsolved in your heart, and try to love the questions themselves as if they were locked rooms or books written in a very foreign language. Don't search for the answers, which could not be given to you now because you would not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything. Live the question now. Perhaps then someday, far in the future, you will gradually, without even noticing it, live your way into the answer.
Now, the topic of curiosity has been a subject of a number of sayings and stories over the years. You might think about what it takes to kill a cat. Right? Yep. If any of us who've had cats, we know how unbelievably curious they are. Or we might think about those wonderful children's books about Curious George, right? And all the shenanigans that his curiosity would get him into. And we might think about children who ask so many questions, all sorts of questions all day long, so much that they are wondering about. Awakening curiosity is our theme for this month. Now, we live in a world, and especially in a society, where many people would much rather act like they have all the answers or they know all the things than ask questions. We might think about people who are in a job search process. They feel like they've got to have all the answers. Or people in workplaces, they've got to have all the answers to any questions, instead of sometimes saying, "That's a good question. I don't know. I'm going to work on it and see what we can come up with." Now, you might have even heard people say, or you might have said it yourself, "Excuse me, sorry, I have a stupid question." Now, for all you educators out here, that I know who you are, and former educators, if someone says, "I have a stupid question," what's the response?
There are no stupid questions.
Thank you. There are no stupid questions. No stupid questions. Questions are a good thing. Admitting we don't know something is a good thing. Now, a foundational way that we can awaken curiosity is by living the questions, immersing ourselves in them and asking away. It's like the advice that Rilke gave to this young poet. Live the questions, embody the questions. Don't just think them or think, well, this is some knowledge I can attain or grasp hold of. Embody the questions. Let your whole life be a question that your journey is moving towards. Now, I know that a number of you, as is typical with the UU congregation, have come to the UU faith because it is a safe and welcoming place to ask questions. So many of you have shared with me how you grew up in a much more conservative church environment and that you have been deconstructing your religious beliefs. And that deconstruction began when you began to ask questions. And sometimes questions which were not received well in previous faith communities.
For sure.
I think one of my favorite memories since I've been here was about 2.5 years ago when I held a spiritual journey class for people who were interested in joining the church. And one person, and I asked him, I said, what brings you here? What do you like about being here? Why do you think you might want to be a member? And one person responded, I like being here because UUs are all about the questions and not the answers. Wow, what a great insight. Now we know that we do have some kind of insight, some kind of wisdom here. We talk about our values, we talk about our principles. We have a wonderful covenant, which is there framed on our back wall. Those are some good foundational things, but there is so much that we don't know. So much that we have yet to even think about possibly grasping. So we don't give the answers here. We don't think we have all the answers. And I think most of us know that if any of us get to the point where we think we, have everything we need to know, that's really when we don't know anything. There's a quote from Rumi which goes, "Sell your cleverness and buy bewilderment." Sell your cleverness and buy bewilderment. Now, since we live in a society which values knowing things or possessing something like knowledge, bewilderment is not seen as a value. It's seen as something we don't want to have, that's seen as less than. So when we want to encourage bewilderment, wonder, awe, curiosity, living the questions is countercultural. The faith journey to which we aspire does not follow the path that society values. Wendell Berry, writer and environmental activist, and one of his many incredible writings, wrote about a imaginary conversation with a crow. So Berry said, "I had this feeling maybe I had been called." And the crow responded, "And you may have been right, but not to what you thought, not to what you think. You have been given questions to which you cannot be given answers. You will have to live them out, perhaps a little at a time." And how long is that going to take? I don't know. As long as you live, perhaps. Now, living the questions is a lifelong journey. Parker Palmer, writer, educator, activist, has a wonderful Substack online. And if you're not familiar with Substack, it's basically kind of almost like an online articles or newsletters, and different journalists, writers, all sorts of people have Substacks. So his is entitled "Living the Questions." From this Rilke poem, or writing, for our wisdom reading today, "Living the Questions." Now, Parker Palmer, after this incredible career he's had, he's still so active. He is 87 years old now. He is a brilliant man who has so much wisdom, so much insight, and especially in regards to the spiritual journey. And as he continues to write, he is still living the questions each day. He's talking about curiosity and all the many things that he just doesn't understand yet. Now, one thing Palmer did was found the Center for Courage and Renewal. And the guidelines that the center created for group work is something I use regularly. Actually used it for a sermon a couple years ago. Don't expect any of y'all to remember that though. But also, if you've been in our spiritual journey class for new members, I always begin with ground rules of how we're going to be in community together during that morning. And I use the Center for Courage and Renewal's ground rules, which Palmer created. It's 13 short little sentences about how to be in community together. And the last of those is perhaps my favorite. When things get difficult, turn to wonder. When things get difficult, turn to wonder. When life gets difficult, turn to wonder. When a relationship gets difficult, turn to wonder. Wonder, what might be going on to have someone act the way they are, or why is my response what it is? What has triggered me about this? When pain or anger or hurt overwhelm us, let's wonder what's at the root of what we're feeling and not just what's at the surface. When we see injustice in ways both big and small, let's wonder how our own inner divine light can flame more fully, and wonder what gifts that we have which can help in this situation so that we may stand for justice. Now, living the questions does not mean that we arrive at all the answers or even many of the answers one day. It means that we are guided by curiosity and wonder, so that divine presence has room to move in our hearts and minds and souls. Living the questions is about embodiment. We embody the questions and what it is to be a child of the universe, filled with awe and all the beauty and grace and love that we see around us. Now, if you read the newsletter, which came out a couple days ago in your email, and my article is always the first, so I hope that you at least read that. I hope you read the rest, everything going on too. But I've invited each one of us during the month of May to ask a question every morning. Now, I also want you to write it down so that you still have that. If it's a slip of paper or a journal you keep, or I don't know, somewhere on your kitchen, because we all go in the kitchen all the time, don't we? But to add this to your routine, and the questions can be anything. It might be a simple question like, I wonder what that bird is I hear singing right now. Or it might be some much bigger questions about existential issues. Now, I also want to encourage you to ask the questions in an open and positive way so that we don't skew any kind of wisdom or insights which might come as we grasp with that question. Perhaps we're just really, feeling sad or having challenges in our own lives. Instead of asking, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just be happy or have some peace? To ask, how can I invite more peace or joy into my life? To frame it in a more positive way. Now, as you go through each day and ask these questions, and I encourage you to keep them and look at them periodically, not just this month, but in the weeks to come afterwards. There's going to be some of those questions that you're going to be, you can figure out an answer to and help gain with your own wisdom or insight. And then there's going to be some other big questions which emerge. Now, I encourage you to look back at those periodically, whatever those big questions are for you. And in the coming months, see perhaps if you might rephrase the question, look at it from a different angle, or if you've gained some kind of insight from it, and to write that down. Maybe share it with a loved one. And then see what more questions emerge after that. Living the questions, it's a way of life. It's not about getting the answers. It's about the way that we approach our life and our spiritual journey. Embodying what it means to be a people guided by divine light, who know that there's always shadows everywhere where we can't see things clearly. But the light gives us some wisdom, some insight for the journey. So in good UU fashion, I don't have answers for you today, but let us go forth with questions. And let us live these questions to the fullest. Amen.
We give to remind ourselves how many gifts we have to offer. We give to remember that we are part of something bigger than ourselves. We give because we believe in music and sacred space. We give with the faith that together we have enough. This month we are sharing our offering plate with Green Faith because the earth and all people are sacred and at risk. Green Faith is building a worldwide multi-faith climate and environmental movement. Together, Green Faith members create communities to transform ourselves, our spiritual institutions, and society to protect the planet and create a compassionate, loving, and just world. In the moment, our hosts will pass around the baskets. We ask that you pass these baskets down the row as you receive them. You may place your gift in the basket as they make their way around the room. And of course, you are always welcome to give online at puuc.org or by texting PUUC at the number 37256. Today's offering will now gratefully be received.
We give thanks for these generous gifts contained in these baskets and for all the wonderful gifts that you offer this beloved community. I invite us now to please rise and body your spirit for our closing hymn found in your grade hymnal, number 311, Let It Be a Dance.
Let it be a dance. Let it dance.
all the many volunteers who help make our service possible. I also ask if you are able, after the service, to take the hymnals and place them on the cart near the piano. That's always a big help. So as we do each Sunday, let us take a moment to give thanks, either in our hearts or with words for others to hear, for the things for which we are grateful today.
I'm grateful for all those who participated in our May Day celebration last night.
Thank you. And grateful to Cassette for planning it and leading it, so thank you.
I'm grateful for the camaraderie of our Kentucky Derby party last night.
Oh, drawings for the Kentucky Derby party.
And the bourbon.
For our virtual participants this morning and the bourbon, Lisa said. So,
Oh, and the music.
and the music. Bourbon comes before music, so we just want
Honestly, that's fair.
I'm grateful that I'm almost done with the capstone of my degree program.
Wonderful. So Hex is grateful that he is almost done with the capstone for his degree project. Okay, thank you.
Grateful for Harry and Jim and Joe specifically for wrangling the tree removal out front and the cleanup that I could not entirely help with. So that open space and the lack of impingement on the power lines is due to their efforts.
So Harry and Joe and Jim and Donna helping remove the trees that were impinging on our power lines. So y'all can take a look out there if you're curious. Big difference.
I'm grateful for Kat hosting the tie-dye party and for getting to undo them later today.
All right, for the tie-dye party last night and to getting ready to have the unveiling and undoing later. Well, we are grateful for all these and so much more which we hold in our hearts this morning. Let us go forth asking all the questions, living our lives as a question, as we continue to awaken our curiosity. We now extinguish our chalice, but we carry its light, its warmth, and its meaning with us until we meet again. May we go in peace, believe in peace, create peace wherever we may wander. May it be so. For our closing song, we form a circle, and you may hold hands if you would like to, or you may simply place your hands on your heart.
For the time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for the precious day. Oh, we give thanks for the precious day. For those gathered here.